Hi, my name is Lisa Cummings, and today I'm going to share with you some information regarding qualified domestic relations orders and also the differences between pension plan qualified domestic relations orders and 401k QDROs. Before I start on that, let me share a little bit about our firm. Our firm is Cummings and Cummings. We are a full service law firm. We assist businesses as well as individuals in a full suite of business transactional planning, tax planning, as well as estate design, and touching particularly on retirement plan benefits and how you can best utilize those as an individual. And now just a moment about myself. My name is Lisa Cummings. I am an attorney here at Cummings and Cummings. I have served as an attorney for many years. I have worked within large corporations and assisted those corporations as well as their employees in understanding and administering their retirement programs in accordance with federal law. Today, as a reminder, I wanted to share with you exactly what a qualified domestic relations order is. You may hear the term QDRO from time to time, and that's just an abbreviation for a qualified domestic relations order. In a qualified domestic relations order, there are a couple of different elements. One is the fact that the legal order itself, the QDRO, is used to divide a retirement benefit in the event of a divorce. That division is from the original account holder, who is the plan participant. And then in that particular document, there is a granting of rights in that retirement account to the other spouse, who is named the alternate payee. From time to time, the alternate payee may also be a dependent, but typically the alternate payee is the spouse. In that qualified domestic relations order, it's important to remember that that particular order is required in order to avoid paying any additional tax penalties or incurring any other tax issues. The qualified domestic relations order not only has to be submitted to the court and signed by the court, it must also be submitted to the retirement plan administrator so that the administrator can review it, the document, and make sure that it is in accordance with their plan document as well. As an introduction to our topic today, I think we all recognize the fact that in a divorce situation, dividing any type of property is not easy. However, when dividing retirement plans in a divorce situation, not all retirement plans are the same. A qualified domestic relations order can apply to both a 401k plan as well as a pension plan. However, the wording that goes in that QDRO for a pension plan is going to be different than the wording that goes into the QDRO for a 401k account. So let's talk first about 401k accounts, which are sometimes called defined contribution plans. A 401k is an account that has a balance that's attached to it, and that account balance will change based upon employee contributions, employer contributions, whether the employee makes a hardship withdrawal, for instance, and then the underlying investments. The division of a 401k plan in a QDRO is typically more straightforward than the division of a pension plan account. More on that on the next slide. In a 401k QDRO, the QDRO document requires that there is a precise percentage or dollar amount that would be awarded to the alternate payee. Once that division has passed through the court, and there's a signature from the judge, and then it goes to the plan administrator, and the plan administrator reviews it and said, yes, this is qualified. Then at that point, the plan administrator will set up a separate account for the alternate payee. At that point in time, the alternate payee may roll over the money, they may choose to withdraw the money, or they may just keep the funds in the existing plan. The important thing to note for a 401k QDRO is the alternate payee does receive favorable tax treatment if it is properly drafted. And then typically a QDRO process for a 401k plan can be completed within 2 to 6 months. So let's switch gears and think about, well, how does that compare to a defined benefit plan where there is a pension account that is involved? A pension plan is different from a 401k plan because the pension plan has a defined benefit that is payable whenever the participant in the plan retires. It is a promise of an income stream payable at retirement rather than knowing I have X dollars in my account balance as of today. A qualified domestic relations order for a pension plan must address the allocation percentage that's to be awarded to the alternate payee, the payment start date, any cost of living adjustments, as well as whether their survivor annuity should be applied. The benefits in the pension plan depend upon the participant's retirement decision without specific protections. Drafting a pension qualified domestic relations order often also requires actuaries to be included. So there is the additional layer of actuarial expertise. A critical distinction between 401k plans and pension plans from the perspective of QDRO is that in a pension plan QDRO, alternate payees may lose their benefit if the participant dies first, unless there is specific wording in that pension QDRO about what happens to the alternate payee's benefits in the event the participant dies first. The survivor annuity for the alternate payee must be secured in the QDRO document before the participant retires. Compare that to a 401k plan. 401k plan QDROs do not require survivor annuities to be identified before the participant's retirement because in a 401k plan, the balances are fixed assets. Timing of benefits. Here's another difference between 401k QDROs and pension QDROs. In a 401k QDRO, the division of the participant's account can occur soon after the QDRO is approved by the plan administrator. The alternate payee for a 401k account can typically access the funds very soon after the QDRO is approved and the account is established for the alternate payee. Compare that to a pension QDRO benefit. In a pension QDRO, the alternate payee may not be able to take payment of that pension benefit until the participant reaches retirement age. In other words, alternate payees of a pension plan account may wait years or decades to receive payment of their benefit that has been awarded them. This is under plan rules as well as federal regulations. So it's important to understand as you're going into a divorce setting whether or not the retirement plan that you're talking about is a defined contribution 401k type of plan or whether it is a pension plan. Another element to take into account is the plan administrative rules. In addition to federal law requiring certain items that have to be listed in a qualified domestic relations order, also that qualified domestic relations order has to meet the requirements of the specific retirement plan. Pension plans may limit the way that Their pension accounts are divided, the methods that can be used, and they may also require very specific calculations. 401k QDRO divisions are typically simpler, but they still have to follow very strict federal QDRO requirements and also follow plan administrator requirements for QDROs. What's important to note is that whoever is preparing your QDRO for you should undertake a very careful review of each of the retirement plan's rules to ensure that each of the parties are aware of these rules so that the document, once it's drafted, will not be rejected or bring about future disputes. So next steps to think about for divorcing spouses. First, do not assume that all retirement plans are going to be divided the same way. You should provide complete plan documentation to your attorney. You should also, in the event of a pension plan, seek to secure your survivor benefits early. And then you should seek experienced legal and actuarial guidance in the event of a pension plan to avoid costly mistakes. Thank you for joining us today. If you would like more information about this matter, feel free to go to our portal at QDRO.law or send me an email. My email is on the screen, Lisa, that's Lisa, at Cummings.law. Thank you for joining us today and have a great day.